You put anchovies on that thing and you're in big trouble.
Ray.
That'll do. And the clock's ticking, dude.
Come on, Ray, we've got a review to do.
Sorry, Sonia. Hey guys. Okay, so we've already taken a look and reviewed the classic TMNT figure by Playmates, which is excellent, but we thought that we'd take a look at some of the other figures that are currently available to you and compare and contrast them just a little bit.
Yes, starting with the original TMNT toy. Ta-da! It's hard to surpass the nostalgia associated with this one.
Absolutely. Released in 1988, these figures were hugely popular. Still are. The main four were each a different shade of green, came with their trademark weaponry, plus a set of other weapons and items that you had to snap or cut off this framework. All the figures in this series were kind of bow-legged, which was good for stability, but it made them look a little stumpy, and it didn't lend the characters to a great many poses.
Yeah, the April wasn't a very good model in this series.
No.
And the foot soldier kind of looked like an alien ape.
But aren't they all aliens?
This isn't great for articulation, but geez, they are tough toys.
Yeah, that they are. I've thrown mine plenty of times. Into action, don't throw your toys. As you can see, this one's had some wear, but he's a far cry from needing retirement.
So that's where it all started,
Yep.
but let's take a look at what's available for us today.
All right.
Ta-da.
Okay. This is the 5-inch modern TMNT figure, which was released in 2012 when Nickelodeon took over the property rights and also at the same time released a new animated series, which is excellent.
Like the original, he comes with a variety of weapon choices, including his trusty sai. Instead of rippling muscles, we have textured grain running through the skin to give it a leathery look. Even the shell with its chips and scratches adds another dimension. Also in this series, they've opted for the turtles to have a standard issue brown padding instead of the individual colouring.
It's interesting to see the development of this toy line. I mean, this figure here is almost 25 years on from the original, and it exhibits vast improvements, most notably, probably due to consumer feedback and demand, the articulation. This Raph can easily be manoeuvred into a variety of positions, creating a different scenario. The figure feels well balanced and stands easily. The sai fit well into his hands, although the scale of the weapon itself is a little on the large side. That said, this is a decent figure, and I also quite like the chunky, triangular aesthetic they're going for as well.
Yeah, cool. Okay, moving on to the latest movie turtle. What do you think of this one?
Well, look, I know it copped a lot of flack because of the design, but I quite liked the direction they were going in with that more of a realistic approach.
Sure.
However, I didn't like so much that they made them kind of gangster. Both the shape and the outfit doesn't translate to the toy line very well. But does the figure look like the character from the film? Yes, it does. But for starters, you can't turn his head without his eyeline shifting upward, which simply makes him look hard of hearing.
The joints all move well though, easier than both the original and the modern toon line. The do-rag and loincloth get in the way of the movement though.
Yeah, they do, and I also have an issue with the profile. The shell is so prominent, the character design leans forward more, which ages him considerably. I also prefer the 6-plated torso over their attempt to humanize them even further with a chest and abs. Now the paintwork is sloppy, and there's nowhere for him to sheathe his sai when he's eating pizza.
Ridiculous! You never leave your sai just lying around. Not cool. Alright, time to step it up a notch. Standing at 6 inches tall is this new release figure based on the successful first film. It's been designed in much the same way as the classic TMNT figure.
That's right, so we won't go into how excellent the articulation is or how well balanced the figure is, but we can point out some of the key differences. For starters, the green colour is darker, and this same shade is applied across all the brothers. The heads have come to more of an apex in shape, and the only splash of colour is found on the headband. If you look closely, you can see that they've also included a white pupil, which is a nice touch. Like the 90s TMNT film, the padding on all the joints is brown and have increased slightly in size. The shell size too has increased, while the chest plate of the torso has been slightly reduced. I like that there's little to no effect on the range of movement in the shoulder, but because there's a slightly larger shell, it sort of pulls back on the figure a little bit more than the other.
The weapons are more realistic looking too, and they've done away with the lettering on their belt buckle. I think it's time for a verdict.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of the current turtle designs at all, and although I have a soft spot for the original, I want more dexterity from my figure. The modern Raph is decent, but he doesn't look as good as this design in appearance or posability. Between these two, I have to award the bye to the 1990s classic action figure. He is an awesome looking toy, and he's representative of the turtle film that I really liked.
Okay, well, look, I agree with nearly everything you said. I've come down to these two as well. I thought that a couple of the joints in the 90s figure that you liked were a little loose, especially around the knee and the hip area. I don't know if this is common across the whole line or just with this particular character, this model. However, my buy is going to go toward the first of the classic action TMNT figures, because I like that cartoon look a little bit more.
Sure.
And I also prefer the smaller protective padding around the joints. I like the smaller shell and the edgier expressions akin to Laird and Eastman's creation. Not entirely, but just that little bit more grit. But after seeing this 1990s figure, I'm thinking of doing a little paint touch-up on the weapon handles and adding pupils to my figure. I also wanted to do a shout out to two other lines we didn't get to have a look at. One of them being the Revoltech TMNT figures. They are a little bit more like the Nickelodeon cartoon series. They're excellent. And if you're a big fan of the comics, then take a look at the NECA TMNT figures because they look badass.
They really do.
They're awesome.
They are.
Got some attitude.
Your pizza is taking forever to get here, so
Far too
while we're
long.
waiting,
Clock's ticking.
it is ticking. Ray, who was your favourite turtle?
Well, Raphael.
Yeah, I'm looking at these thinking it was had to be.
Yes,
But
that's
why?
right.
Why Raph?
Look, I just liked that he was. I like that he's aloof, and you know he's tough. He's got a bit of attitude, but I also liked that he came through in the end. He relates to that family concept, that brotherhood, and I don't know. He came back and saved them. You know, he was there. So yeah, I also kind of like the Michelangelo, but mainly in the Nickelodeon
Just in
sort
the
of
cartoon?
Yeah, the cartoon. Yeah, something
He's
about
very
him.
cute in the cartoon.
He is, yeah. While the others are sort of growing older, he's still staying in his young teens,
Yes.
you know?
But I mean, we all know
reluctance
that
to grow up.
Donnie is better.
What?
Pizza.
Yeah.